Okay, response video to Pyrrho.
I'm going to put it on YouTube, so I'm going to put a time limit on it, so I'm not going to play his whole video, just play
Well, doesn't that suck? I lost a
parts
video.
of it.
A video to you in Inmendham. So I've been blocked again, eh? Yeah. Well, this time I'm kind of thankful. I was thinking my defenses in association of you with you as someone.
Whatever, Pyrrho. Your defenses of me have been crap, shit, garbage. Okay, I'm sick of these left-handed compliments and these left-handed everythings. Why don't you just, stick your foot in my mouth? No, thank you. So yeah, on that score, I'm a little sick of that crap anyway. Look, I made it clear. This is how I fight trolls. You want to fight trolls your way. Your way is I'm going to make them my best friend and give them the attention they're after. My argument is the only reason why they're there, the only reason why they exist is because they can go on your boards and talk shit. Because they can have an audience. Because people will be their friends. All they have to do is say, I like you, and I'll subscribe to you, and I'll talk about you, or I'll talk to you. And, yeah, and so then they have a game to play. And so I say, fuck that. So I say, the least you can do, you don't have to kick them, you don't have to block them, you just don't have to subscribe to them. What's the big fucking deal? You don't have to give them more attention, to have a little links from your channel page to their channel page, and all that kind of, be friends with them. No, you don't have to do any of that crap. Yeah, but you can do whatever the fuck you want, okay? Yeah, you made your choice. I made it clear that I'm sick of this shit. The asshole did this 3 times. Obviously, you don't have enough respect for the fact that he's wasting my time, and I don't appreciate that. Making a bunch of bullshit accusations. And, yeah, so to me it's just a matter of respect. I asked for people to support me in defending myself against this asshole who was not going to go away, and you decided to say no. So fine.
Yeah, really. So long.
Unproductive side, I'll stand by all those things in general. But, this whole final solution of yours, it's a big turnoff.
Yeah, well, that doesn't bother me much either.
Yeah, really, I'm not contriving or orchestrating my YouTube presence to what you want to talk about. That's not going to happen. And this is, the blueprint for this direction was there in the beginning anyway. It's almost like the instant runoff voting subject. The instant runoff voting thing is just the crack in the door. The door, that's the thing that's going to open the door, would be getting rid of the geographic bias in the districts. So, I mean, that's the disgusting part. The thing that matters is the geography problem, voting geographically instead of ideologically. And so as long as our legislatures are going to be voted in by the same majorities in every single fucking state, as long as the Congress is going to be the same basic asshole, whether you had instant runoff voting or not, because it'll be the same majority in every state will decide who the representatives are. So there'll be no minority representation. I've said this before, but you can see it so obviously with the race issue, because if it wasn't for segregation, blacks would have, 10% of the representation they have? 1%? They'd have the president and no congressman. And, I mean, literally could be that ludicrous. So, yeah, whatever. So but I'm not going to, it's just, yeah, our conversations don't really go anywhere. As I've stated, we agree on the shit that doesn't matter. The stuff that really matters is this issue of, what is life? What is this shit? Is it really doing anything? And do human beings have any obligation whatsoever to start talking about what responsibility is? What are our responsibilities? Not as to each other, not to a civilization, but just to life itself.
In terms of controlling our participation in a DNA molecule's subtle ambition to take over the material universe.
You know my position on your ultimatums of don't subscribe to this person or else.
Yeah, and you know my reason for doing it. This is, if a union says don't cross the picket line and, you get into a big fight, yeah, you can disagree over that shit. But it's going to be, you're going to disagree over that shit. I don't see any way to fix the problem if nobody does anything. So I'm going to do something. If you don't like it, fine, but I'm not going to sit around and take John Paul Doran. I'm going to let him set my agenda. I'm not letting him control my fucking life. He's not going to eat my life. Fuck that shit.
Wasted your channel. And I'm not the kind of guy to tell somebody how to use their channel, but I mean by your standards, the things that are most important to you, you don't want to talk about IRV. Well, you know, me neither. John Paul Doran is making his whine about that. I'm just like, hey, well, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, he's completely insincere asshole. So fine, like I said, you want to believe he actually wants to talk about it? Yeah, well, you can believe that. But that's a pile of shit. There's not an honest neuron bouncing around in his head. He's like some asshole on the highway trying to make money on insurance claims, you know, by crashing into people. He's a fucking menace. All right, he's a piece of crap, a piece of dirt. So yeah, whatever. There's just no point in arguing about it. I mean, I don't know where the part is here where you start saying it's a good idea that I got censored on Blip, and that you somehow think, though, that that's not our free speech right to honestly express our opinion about other people. So if I said I'd like to wipe my ass with George Bush's face and then roll his head into a sewer, I just broke the law if I say something like that, right? I can't honestly express hate, you know, an honest emotion. So there's no way you can do that. That's not free speech. That's just bullshit, okay? I mean, dropping docs, yeah, against the law. Personal threats, yeah, against the law, okay? But saying something like, I think that judge violated the United States Constitution and should be appropriately hung as a traitor, that's not breaking the law, in my opinion. It certainly shouldn't be. You know, especially when they're violating people's civil rights, their constitutional rights, in their federal courts, which is laughable. I mean, ironically bizarre. So I don't know where to go with that one. I mean, that one that sort of surprises me. You know, the limitations you would put on free speech. Because the argument is, again, about terms of service again. It's about what Google says our free speech should be. No, I should have free speech until I break the law. Period. Okay? There's really no other issue here. All right? I mean, you want to believe otherwise, fine, but I don't think it should be controlled any other way. And everything should just be labeled, and the audience should be restricted, and all of those capacities can be built into this thing. But it really is ludicrous for you to sit there and say it's okay for Google to censor me on YouTube, it's okay for Blip to censor me on Blip, but if I go to the Google search engine and type in murder and something else, I'll get 9 million images, grotesque crap. I'll get images that are personal violations. I'll get images that are copyright violations. I get all kinds of shit, right? And that's okay. So, I mean, you can make sense out of that somehow. So when it's to their commercial value, okay, the exploitation's all over the place, the personal invasion's all over the place, but when it's to my value, when I need it as a civilian resource, it shouldn't exist. Oh, fuck that.
Sorry. Fail. Ooh, battery's low. So, hey, this video might be shorter than I anticipated. Lucky everyone. Let's see what he says here.
Everybody says it was bad enough. Whatever, man. You know, if you're not going to focus on your health, your part, you're just going to develop the most ridiculous and it's not going to help. It's not going to happen, so it's unrealistic. And
yeah, well, I would argue that your fantasy that, you know, you produce in the next generation with some sort of plan that they're going to fix the world and everything's going to be all right is just as unrealistic and stupid. So, yeah. Yeah, no, but, you know, I don't know. You just don't know. I mean, this whole thing is saying something can't. You know, there's that whole Martin Luther King-y kind of thing out there.
You know, I mean, sometimes you just have to be in the right place at the right time.
this dark side you ought to be able to recognize, and you can develop it and share it. But it's like, that's your biggest thing. That's the only one that's changed. You know, IRV is still the same thing. I think we should have it. Hey, well, we could...
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, gotta check my timer. Probably lost a minute. Yeah, keep that in mind. So I got like 4 minutes there too. Anyway, yeah. So IRV thing again. Yeah, but like I already expounded on that. There's bigger fish to fry, and this whole audience thing on YouTube and how to get to people and how to communicate with people. Who knows what the secret is? Right? I haven't been able to figure it out. And I'm not even going to bother wasting my time trying, okay? I just make videos. You can sort of see that, okay? I turn the camera on and I start talking. And so really this whole idea that somehow I have a strategy, no, I don't have one. But I'm sick of trying to even have one. I'm just quite fucking sick of it. So I'm just going to say what I have to fucking say, period, the end. And I'm not going to worry about whether I offended some faggot. There, see, I just said that on purpose, just because I'm saying I'm just a little too tired to play these fucking goddamn games.
Of an association like that, anybody worth their salt understands why you have I don't know what to call it, a comparison of ideas, mixing where you check these things out, you mix them up, and that's just how it's going to work. And of course, it's going to be people.
Sorry, this wasn't your best. I'm sorry, I really didn't pick that on purpose.
That are an opposite of you. I mean, so and you want to think all about that stuff, and you don't want to think about, hey, I have these other ideas. People aren't that interested. We'll just beat the drumbeat. No, we'll get a big audience. And then what are you going to tell them about our IRV? Because you already know. By that process, those aren't the people that want to know.
Yeah, but the point is you have some chance if you have the audience. So the audience does matter. I mean, maybe I'll blow it when I have it, or if I ever got one, I'd fuck it up. But quite obviously, talking to the wind doesn't work. Right? I mean, that's really going to be fail. So that argument just doesn't go anywhere. You really do have to get an audience somehow first.
That is sort of, like we are sort of doing this backwards.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Now, I don't have it in my inbox having to do the mental kill file. So yeah, but you're not off, as always, you're not off limits though. Yeah, by the way, I'm really glad that Book TV has turned on you.
Yeah, I just think that's just unnecessary. But whatever. Just, I mean, that was just another example. I mean, YouTube has been terrible. They killed the Inmendham channel the first time, and then the second time, and the third time for 6 months, and then they just said, oh yeah, well, we made a mistake, sorry. And how much did that interrupt the flow of my videos? The whole idea that I had to switch channels. And then what they wiped out the Do Not God channel over was just such bullshit. And you showed no support for that circumstance. So whatever. I mean, I don't dislike you, Pyro, but yeah, fuck you as a YouTube personality, okay? I don't care too much for your fucking channel either. I mean, look, realistically, too, most of your fucking subscribers are my fucking trolls, so it's not a good circumstance. So anyway, enough of the video. It's a pretty poor video on both of our parts, but whatever. I just don't care.
Listen to that sucker, I lost it.
Hit the button.